It started with a red light, or at least that's what Officer Calloway claimed, even though every camera and dashboard GPS log would later prove that Darius King hadn't run anything. But at 4:16 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon, as Darius left his job at a tech startup in downtown Phoenix and headed to meet his mother at a retirement home across town, he didn't know that this routine stop at a yellow turning light would launch a chain of events that would leave national headlines scorched with a single phrase: "You people are always guilty." Darius had never been in trouble with the law. Top of his class at Arizona State. Hired straight into a six-figure role at a cybersecurity firm. He was wearing a collared shirt, slacks, and his company badge still hanging from his lanyard as he drove his silver electric SUV through the city. His Spotify was playing a throwback 90s playlist. He wasn't speeding. His phone was on Do Not Disturb. The sun was high, the roads were dry, and everything in his life, his career, his family, his plans to propose to his girlfriend, felt stable. Until the red and blue lights flared behind him. His heart didn't immediately race. He'd been pulled over before. A tail light once. A license plate frame violation. Each time, polite but distant interactions. But today felt different the second the officer stepped out of his cruiser. Tall, white, late 40s with a buzz cut and mirrored shades, Officer Trent Calloway walked to Darius's window with his hand already on his holster. Not resting, gripping. Darius rolled down his window halfway and said the words every black parent teaches their child to rehearse. "Good afternoon, officer. I believe everything's in order." Calloway's voice came fast, sharp. "License and registration. Now." Darius reached slowly. "Sir, I'm going to grab my wallet from the center console. Is that okay?" Calloway didn't respond. He simply unlatched the snap on his sidearm. Darius moved slower. Passed the ID out with 2 fingers. The officer snatched it and looked him up and down. "You know why I pulled you over?" "No, sir." "You ran the light." "I believe I entered while it was still yellow." Calloway leaned in. "Believe what you want. You people always got a reason." Darius blinked. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," Calloway said, looking into the car like he expected to see something illegal. "You people are always guilty of something." Darius felt his mouth go dry. In the passenger seat of a nearby parked car, 300 feet away, a woman in sunglasses and a delivery uniform slowly tilted her phone at an angle inside her lunchbox, activating a concealed high-resolution lens. She was Agent Maya Rios, and she wasn't there for Darius. She was there for Calloway. You see, for 3 months, the FBI had been running a quiet investigation into a pattern of unreported stops, confiscated phones, and sudden resisting arrest charges tied to Officer Calloway's beat. They had complaints. They had settlements. But what they didn't have was proof. Until now. Maya had followed Calloway through 3 shifts already. Always pretending to be a delivery driver. Always blending in. Today she'd gotten lucky. She hadn't expected him to go full mask off on a clean-cut tech worker. But here it was, live, and her mic was catching every second. Back at the car, Calloway pulled open Darius's door. No warning. Just yanked it open like he was swatting a fly. Out of the car. "Sir, why?" I said out. Darius unbuckled, confused. He stepped out slowly, hands up, not daring to move too quickly. Calloway shoved him against the vehicle. "Put your hands on the hood." "Am I being detained?" "You're resisting. That's what you're doing." Sir, I'm complying." A hard shove. "Don't backtalk me." Darius turned his head slightly. "Officer, I haven't committed any crime. I'm unarmed. I'm not resisting." Calloway leaned in, breathing hot with tension. "You people think you're slick. Fancy car, clean clothes, fake smile. That badge don't fool me." "I work at Axicon Cyber," Darius said. "You can call." "Shut up." Calloway patted him down roughly, tossing his wallet onto the ground. Maya watched, heart pounding. She checked the angle. Her backup agent was 2 blocks away. No uniform. No cover. She radioed quietly. "He just escalated. Civil rights violation on camera. No warrant. No warning. Target in control. Suspect compliant. Request backup now." Back in the street, Calloway reached into Darius's back pocket, yanked out his phone, and scrolled. "Password," he barked. "You need a warrant for that," Darius said. "I know my rights." Calloway grinned. "No cameras. No body cam. Who's gonna stop me?" And that's when a deep, commanding voice echoed from across the street. "We are." Calloway turned. And standing there, badge in hand, was Agent Rios, flanked by 2 agents in tactical windbreakers. "FBI. Step away from the civilian." Calloway froze. His face drained of color. His hand slipped off the phone. I didn't. What's this about?" Rios walked forward slowly. "About the last 3 years of unreported stops, intimidation, theft, and unconstitutional searches." She looked at Darius. "Sir, are you hurt?" "No," Darius said, breath still short. "Just shaken." Rios turned to Calloway. "You just made your final mistake." But before she could finish, Calloway reached for his belt, not for his gun but for something else. A small black button. Rios yelled, "Don't," and then the device clicked. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths. The click echoed louder than the Arizona wind, louder than the murmurs from the gathering crowd, louder even than the chaos playing out inside Darius King's head as he stood with his back against his SUV, palms sweating, chest heaving. He didn't know what that little black button on Officer Calloway's belt was, but Agent Maya Rios sure did. Her scream was instinctual, full of panic and urgency. "Back OFF." He just hit the panic signal. And just like that, within moments, the street that had been quiet save for traffic and tension began to churn. A nondescript white van parked 2 blocks away suddenly screeched into motion. From alleyways and shaded porches, men in uniforms that didn't look like any official department poured out. Not police, not FBI, but wearing patches labeled Auxiliary Response Unit. Private. Paramilitary. Unauthorized. Darius ducked reflexively as 3 men surrounded Calloway and formed a loose triangle facing Agent Rios and her team. "You've crossed the line," one barked. "This is a protected investigation. Step back." Rios didn't blink. "This is a federal civil rights probe and you just interfered with an active operation. That's obstruction." The tallest of the group smirked. "No, sweetheart. That's politics." Darius's eyes darted. He was caught in the middle, literally. "Ma'am," he said to Rios, "what is going on?" "We've been investigating Officer Calloway for months," she said quickly. "He's connected to a network of unauthorized data brokers, rogue officers, and a surveillance group targeting Black professionals. We believe they've been collecting biometric and personal data illegally, under the guise of traffic stops." Darius blinked. "What?" "You're not just a victim," she continued. "You're the pattern. Educated. Black. Tech-savvy. High income. They're building profiles, and in some cases, planting crimes." Calloway stepped forward now, propped up by his mysterious backup. "That's conspiracy talk, Agent." He ran a red light. "That's it." "Then why did you say you people are always guilty on tape?" she shot back. "And why did you disable your body cam the moment you pulled him over?" The auxiliary men moved closer, forming a wall. "You've got 5 seconds to de-escalate," the leader said, "or we pull jurisdiction." "You don't have jurisdiction," Maya snapped. "You're not federal. You're mercenaries hiding behind state grants and ghost contracts." Meanwhile, Darius's heart pounded. His mind spun. The red light stop wasn't random. The aggression wasn't personal. It was systematic. They knew who he was, where he worked, what he might have access to. He remembered the moment 2 weeks ago when he mentioned in an all-hands meeting that his team was preparing to roll out new encryption software that would block location tracking by third-party apps. Could this really be tied to that? Could this be about more than profiling? Could it be about data? One of the agents beside Rios pulled out a file and handed it to Darius. Inside were photos, dozens of them. All Black men and women. All in their 20s or 30s. All college grads. All arrested in the last 6 months across Phoenix, Austin, Charlotte, and Chicago. Darius flipped the page, and saw the name Tariq Bowen, a college friend who disappeared 6 months ago after moving to Houston. Everyone thought he had ghosted. But now, there he was. In an orange jumpsuit. Listed as detained without bond, pending federal review. "They're targeting people like you," Maya said. "Young, smart, upwardly mobile Black professionals in tech, education, and activism. You're the future. And they're afraid of the future." Darius stared at Calloway, who now wore a smug grin. "You still think you're free?" Calloway sneered. "We control the streets. You don't even control your phone." Darius's eyes widened. My phone? He reached into his pocket, but it was gone. Of course. Calloway had taken it. It's not just your phone, Rios said. They cloned your cloud account last week. We found the breach in a backdoor server tied to the Mesa Sheriff's Department. And Calloway has access. I need to call my mother, Darius whispered. If they have my data, they know where she is. Already tried, Rios said. Your contact list's been rerouted. We'll get her. But you need to come with us. You're not safe here. He's not going anywhere, the paramilitary man growled. This is still an active traffic stop. Rios stepped between him and Darius. Try me. And then, everything snapped. In an instant, more backup for the rogue unit pulled up. Tactical trucks. 3 men in body armor jumped out. Rios barked into her mic. They've escalated to armed reinforcements. Requesting immediate federal sweep. I repeat, Officer Calloway has triggered a false tactical response under the pretense of lawful arrest. Civilian in danger. This is an extraction. Suddenly, Darius was being pulled into an unmarked SUV by 2 FBI agents, one throwing a tactical blanket over him, the other shielding his head. The auxiliary unit tried to block them, but just as they lunged, sirens erupted from the far corner of the block. 4 black SUVs marked Department of Justice came flying in. Doors flung open. Marshals swarmed the scene. A man in a black suit with a red DOJ pin stepped out. Stand down, he shouted. All unauthorized person, hands in the air. But Calloway didn't move. Instead, he pulled something from his waistband. Not a gun. Not a radio. A flash drive. Tiny. Black. Worn from use. He held it in his fingers, turned to Rios and smiled. Everything you're afraid of is on this. Give it to me, she said, walking forward. Now. You sure? He smirked. You sure you're ready to know what we've been doing? What names are on this drive? Who's funding it? Who's really pulling the strings? Drop it, the DOJ agent ordered. Now. But Calloway didn't drop it. He popped open a capsule on his keychain, revealing a thin microtorch, and held it beneath the drive. One squeeze, he whispered, and it's gone. And in that split second, Darius yelled, "Wait!" and sprinted forward, breaking through the agents, leaping toward Calloway with a single hope, that he could grab the drive before it turned to smoke and with it, erase the only truth that could expose everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths. Darius didn't think. He just moved. The moment he saw the flame flicker beneath the flash drive, instinct overrode fear. His feet pounded the asphalt, lungs burning, mind screaming. A dozen federal agents shouted behind him, but all Darius could see was Calloway's smug face and the precious microdrive hovering above the fire. Stop! Maya Rios yelled, but it was too late. Darius lunged, crashing into Calloway's chest like a linebacker, knocking them both to the ground. The flash drive flew from Calloway's hand, spinning through the air in slow motion, bouncing once, then skidding beneath a nearby parked car. Chaos exploded. 2 of the paramilitary men lunged forward, but the DOJ agents were quicker. A stun baton cracked against one man's ribs. Another went down in a tackle. Darius scrambled across the ground, ignoring the pain in his elbow, reaching for the drive just as a boot came down inches from his fingers. Don't, growled the tallest auxiliary officer. That data doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to any of you, Darius snapped, gripping the drive and shoving it into his sock just as Agent Rios pulled her Glock and ordered the man to back away. We've got it, she called. Extraction complete. But the danger wasn't over. Not even close. Within minutes, the street was locked down by federal agents, local police and forensic techs. Calloway was cuffed, bleeding from his lip but still smiling like a man who knew this wasn't over. Darius was rushed to a safe house, an old federal training facility repurposed with biometric locks, Faraday cages and steel shutters. Inside, he sat surrounded by agents and digital security specialists, still trembling from adrenaline. Maya paced the room as the drive was scanned on an isolated machine. Whatever's on here, she warned, can't be leaked. No Wi-Fi. No connection. No screenshots. The moment this goes public without context, they'll flip it, twist it, weaponize it. We have to be smart. The scan began. Folders loaded. Names populated. Hundreds of them. Government officials, judges, officers, even CEOs. "Oh my God," whispered a technician. "They've been running a shadow surveillance operation for 5 years. Racially profiled metadata. Career sabotage algorithms. Predictive policing tools built on biased AI training sets, designed to preemptively target minorities with fabricated red flags." "So they weren't just watching us," Darius said slowly. "They were building fake cases?" "Exactly," Maya said. "Every traffic stop, every incident, every resisting arrest report was based on probability engines trained to view Black success as anomaly and risk." The technician clicked into a folder titled Horizon 9. Inside, a full dossier on Darius King. Photos, work history, social accounts, encrypted call transcripts. Even private conversations he'd had with his therapist, illegally accessed. "They knew everything," he whispered. "They were 10 steps ahead of me." Maya nodded grimly. "This isn't just corruption. This is a domestic espionage program, run outside any legal framework. And someone very powerful is bankrolling it." Then another file caught their attention. SleeperNet. Was encrypted. Password protected with biometric keys. "This is different," Maya said. "He didn't mean to let this get caught. This is the core of their black site intelligence." As the decryption began, power flickered. Lights dimmed. The building groaned. Maya snapped her head to the security panel. "Did anyone authorize a network ping?" The tech stammered, "No. It's internal. Someone's trying to access us from inside the safe house." Panic swept the room. Darius's heart dropped. "What do you mean inside?" Maya reached for her pistol. "We've been breached. Fall back. Lockdown protocol C." Sirens blared. Metal shutters slammed. But the screen remained live, flickering as SleeperNet slowly cracked open. One file revealed a recording. They hit play. It was audio, grainy at first, but clear enough. A voice. Familiar. Cold. Calculated. "If they find the drive, activate Protocol Enclave. Delete the exposed servers. Eliminate the compromised asset. And terminate Agent Maya Rios." Silence. Everyone in the room turned toward Maya. Her face was pale. Darius stood frozen. "That's the voice," she said slowly. "That's Director Holden. The Deputy Director of Homeland Security." "They're not just protecting Callaway," Darius said, his voice shaking. "They're protecting themselves." The screen flashed red, Enclave activated. Then the lights went out. Total darkness. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths. Darkness swallowed the room. The humming servers silenced. Emergency lights flickered on, casting eerie red shadows across the concrete walls. The panic was instant. Darius stumbled backward, adrenaline crashing over him in waves. Agent Maya Rios drew her weapon and barked, "Get down. Everyone on alert, we've been compromised." The team scattered, locking doors, checking lines. But deep down they all knew what had just happened. The activation of Protocol Enclave wasn't just a digital purge. It was a death sentence. Darius turned to Maya. "That voice, Holden. You're telling me the Deputy Director of Homeland Security is behind this?" "Worse," she said, eyes sharp. "He's one of them. This goes higher. Callaway was never the center, he was the pawn. Holden is part of a shadow command unit that's been building a parallel enforcement structure for years. They call it the Fourth Directive." "What does that mean?" Darius asked. Maya hesitated. "It means they've prepared for the collapse of trust in public institutions. They're creating a backup system of control, untraceable, unaccountable, and driven by AI models they train on real people's pain. Profiling, surveilling, manipulating outcomes, all off-grid. All legal, under the radar, through loopholes created during the Patriot Act era." As she spoke, the internal server, still powered by an emergency circuit, finished decrypting one last file from SleeperNet. It was a live map. Dozens of dots. Names. Faces. Targets. "My God," whispered the tech. "These are all activists, educators, lawyers, journalists. They've been marking people for digital and physical erasure." The next file loaded, a real-time feed. Body cam footage. A team of armed operatives entering a suburban home. A woman's voice screamed. Children crying. Then a flash. Then silence. That's, Maya said, then covered her mouth. That was Kendra Allen, Darius whispered. She was one of the people I read about after my arrest. She was released, now they've come back for her. No, Maya said. They're tying up loose ends. Everyone who has ever spoken out, fought back, or seen behind the curtain. Another screen came alive. This one showed Agent Maya Rios, on a watch list titled High-Risk Defectors. Her profile glowed red. They've marked me too, she said quietly. And if they know we access this data, they're already coming. A siren blared overhead. A breach. Not a drill. West perimeter, someone screamed. Gunfire rattled the walls. Glass shattered. The facility's east wing burst into smoke. Move! Maya yelled. Darius was yanked down a stairwell into a secondary bunker level. The hallway shook with explosions above them. Federal agents scrambled, some already wounded, others returning fire. They were inside the agency, Maya said breathlessly. The leak came from our own comms room. Who's left? Darius asked. Who can we trust? Maya looked him dead in the eyes. There's one person, she said. But she's in witness protection. And she'll only talk to someone who knew her from the before times. Someone like you. Me? Darius blinked. I don't even know who you're talking about. Yes, you do, she said. Do you remember a name, Camille Rowan? Darius froze. The name hit him like a punch. Camille. Camille from MIT. She faked her death 2 years ago, Maya said. She was a cybersecurity prodigy, built some of the first machine learning filters against biased facial recognition software. They came for her. She disappeared, but we've been keeping her hidden. She knows how Fourth Directive's infrastructure works, because she was recruited by them. And when she said no, they made her vanish. A blast rocked the hallway. Lights sparked. Maya shoved Darius through a side panel and into an underground escape chute. You're going to her. She's in Nevada, near the old test sites. Her safe house is under a false identity, Professor Naomi Vale. She won't trust anyone but you. What about you? Darius asked. I have to hold them off, she said. Get the data to Camille. She'll know what to do. Maya, you won't make it. Geo, she shouted. He went. The chute locked behind him. He fell for what felt like minutes, then landed hard on a gravel road beneath the desert moonlight. No time to rest. No time to cry. He ran. Days passed. Darius traveled across states with aliases, burner phones, old-school maps. He abandoned his identity, wiped every digital trace. Until finally, he reached a compound hidden in the outskirts of Ely, Nevada. High fences. Solar panels. Dust everywhere. At the gate, an old security camera scanned him. A voice crackled, "Go away. No visitors." Camille, Darius said. It's me. Darius King. MIT class of 2012. You made me pancakes after the tornado. Silence. Then, say the name of the dorm you threw up in after finals. Burton Connor, he said. And I still owe you a hoodie. The gate opened. A figure emerged. Long braids. Steel gray eyes. A face he hadn't seen in a decade. You idiot, she whispered. You just painted a target on both of us. We don't have time, Darius said, pulling out the flash drive. They're burning everything. They've activated a kill protocol. Agent Maya Rios is probably dead. I need your help. Camille stared at the drive, then at Darius. This is it, isn't it? She said. The real files. The names. The back doors. All of it. He nodded. If we don't break it down and expose it the right way, they'll erase us like they did the others. Then come inside, she said, eyes dark. Because if I'm right, you're not the only one looking for me right now. As the doors closed behind them, a camera deep in the trees blinked red. Somewhere in a control room buried beneath a mountain, a digital alert triggered. Camille Rowan, signal acquired. The Fourth Directive had found her. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths. Inside the compound, everything moved fast and slow at the same time. Camille's bunker felt like a time capsule and a war room in one. Monitors lined the walls, hard drives stacked like bricks, EMP-resistant circuits woven through the floors. Darius stood in awe, holding the flash drive like it was a relic that could collapse an empire, which, as Camille confirmed, it could. She plugged it in and within seconds, data flooded her custom OS. Schematics. Names. Secure tunnels of money laundering. Coordinated algorithmic policing matrices. Deepfakes. AI-generated arrest warrants based on fabricated probability crime models. This is it, she whispered. The whole thing. Fourth directive is real. Homeland Black Budget divisions built it. Hundreds of operatives. Thousands of targets. And the worst part? The judicial system was rigged to approve almost everything without question. Darius leaned over. Can you get it out? To the public? Camille looked at him. We can't just leak this. If we do, they'll label us terrorists. Say we doctored everything. They'll bury us faster than you can blink. So what do? We make it undeniable, she said. We show the right people, in public, in power, in the press, all at once. A controlled leak with legal protections and live broadcast trails. But how? He asked. They're watching every line. Camille smiled. That's why I've been building EchoNet. A broadcast framework that bounces live data through international mirror servers and makes takedown legally impossible once activated. She stood up. I designed it for a day like this. Within hours, Camille and Darius worked side by side. He hadn't written code in years, but his instincts kicked in. They moved like the old days, before betrayal, before surveillance, before injustice turned life into a labyrinth. As dawn broke, Camille looked at Darius. It's ready? We go live in 1 hour. But they didn't have an hour. The first missile strike came 38 minutes later. A tactical drone, masked by desert heat, dropped a warhead into the north side of the compound. Camille screamed. Dust exploded around them. Sirens howled. A second strike followed, demolishing their relay tower. They're here, she shouted. We've got 5 minutes tops before they breach the perimeter. Darius grabbed the drive, the backups, the last-ditch transmitter Camille had hidden under the concrete slab in her floor. Together they scrambled into the fail-safe bunker, shielded against even military interference. But the air was thin. Power was low. We can transmit once, Camille said. One signal. One chance. We choose between the press or the Federal Oversight Committee. No, Darius said. We don't choose. We split the signal. Use a burst relay with the EchoNet spine. Fragment it, then reunite through layered decryption. We send pieces to both, and let the world do the rest. Camille looked at him, shocked. You remember how to write code after all. This time, Darius said, fingers flying over keys, the algorithm works for us. Outside, helicopters landed. Boots stomped. Guns cocked. But inside, a single line of code fired, and EchoNet went live. Files lit up on screens across the world. At CNN. At Al Jazeera. In the inboxes of senators. At The Hague. At the UN. The truth unfurled like wildfire. Faces. Documents. Proof. Millions watched as the fourth directive was dragged from the shadows into the light. Camille clutched Darius's hand. They're coming in. I know. We may not survive this. I know, he whispered. But the truth will. The bunker door buckled. A blast followed. Voices screamed. Flashbangs rattled. Then silence. 2 months later, a hearing rocked the nation. Congressional probes, whistleblower protections, and a presidential emergency address followed. Camille's footage played before a global tribunal. And the names of corrupt officials, officers, and secret programs scrolled across television screens in Times Square. Camille survived. Darius did not. He was posthumously awarded the Medal of Civil Courage, the first civilian in decades to receive it. At the ceremony, Camille stood tall. My friend, she said, voice cracking, was told from a young age that he had to prove his innocence because of his skin. But he didn't just prove it, he exposed the real guilt in those who hide behind systems and badges. He gave his life so the rest of us could live free. The crowd stood in silence. Then applause. Then tears. In a small park in Atlanta, a statue now stands. Darius King holding a flash drive in one hand, a broken pair of handcuffs in the other. Etched beneath it are 5 words. You people are always guilty. Then below that. Until we prove you wrong. In a world where systems are designed to assume guilt before innocence, silence becomes complicity. Justice doesn't happen by accident. It requires courage, sacrifice, and the unwavering light of truth. Never stop questioning power. Never stop fighting for those it tries to erase. Because even when they watch you, someone is watching them back. The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift Black voices and expose hidden truths.